And so it seems like, bringing this back to a mental health perspective, like, particularly when folks are trying to adhere to a diet, there's a lot of shame involved, right? Particularly
Yeah,
if we're doing a
yeah,
mind in the afternoon because we didn't eat the satisfactory
yeah,
thing, the
yeah.
satisfying thing earlier, right? So it seems like really when we eat the satisfying thing, then it cuts off the opportunity to have that shame cycle.
Exactly. Exactly. It does. And I think, and this doesn't come easy. I think this is something that people have to work on. And I do believe it helps to work with somebody who is trained in intuitive eating.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you have to give yourself permission to eat anything you want. Give yourself permission to eat the foods that you love, whether it's a Big Mac, whether it's, ice cream or whatever, food that society might deem as quote unquote unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what you want, then you should eat it. But
Mm-hmm.
eat it in a positive and intentional way,
Mm-hmm.
not in this kind of chaotic fast, okay, I'm going to eat this now. And that's what people do sometimes is they eat fast and kind of chaotically
Mm-hmm.
because they feel ashamed and they feel like I shouldn't be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But if you learn to slow down, center yourself, pay attention to hunger and fullness, and this is a process that
Right.
most people, it doesn't happen overnight, but um, and give yourself permission to enjoy those foods. Food loses its power. I mean, it kind of becomes a non-issue after a while. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have pizza if I want it. I'm gonna have, Big Mac if I want it. But
Mm-hmm.
once you've kind of taken on the framework that intuitive eating teaches, you start to develop this respect for your body and what your body needs, and you're not going to function well if you eat fast food all the time. There's no doubt, fast food is not the greatest for your health. That's true,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also fine to have once in a while. It's how you eat it, not that you eat it. It's how
Mm-hmm.
you eat it and how you feel about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but
Yeah, so it seems like what you're telling me is that we go through the shame spiral, right? Of like eating. I think what you're trying to do is reframe this idea of indulgence.
yes,
Like, because often the things that we want to eat are considered indulgent. Ice cream, fast food,
right, right,
right? And
right.
so when we remove that definition and we say, okay, it's just the thing I'm going to eat, part of my diet, right? Like this is what I'm putting in my diet, my body for the nutrition for the day, then it takes away that shame and it takes away that value system associated with
It
food.
does. It does. And then I was going to say I think, but I actually have seen this happen. When people remove the shame and
Mm-hmm.
allow themselves to eat what they really want, those foods that they really want become less of a temptation. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they're still going to have them, but it's not as big of a deal, basically.
Yeah.
And they start paying attention to how well they feel if they after eating certain foods, whether they're, fruits and vegetables or pizza, and just how they feel after eating certain foods, and kind of come to a place where, yeah, I'm going to have a Big Mac, or I'm going to have pizza, or I'm going to have, whatever it is, ice cream. But I also know that I feel good when I'm getting the nutrients that my body needs
Mm-hmm.
to function.
Right.
I feel better that way. And I also feel better when I eat when I'm hungry. And it's a good thing to eat when I'm hungry. I feel good that way. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel really good if I stop when I'm full and I just go about my day. That feels good to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really learning to let go of those rules, giving yourself permission to enjoy the foods that you truly love,
Mm-hmm.
eat them in an intentional, positive way,
Mm-hmm.
but then to move on.
Yeah.
To not overthink it, not dwell on it. And in fact, one part of the definition of normal eating that Ellen Satter wrote many years ago that I love, one part of that definition is food is important and it becomes an important part of your day, but it's not the most important thing. And you learn to put it in its place, if that makes sense. That you want to enjoy food, you want to get the food that you want, but it's not the be all end all. It's not the way that we should cope with our feelings, of course. And you can just kind of move on with your life and not dwell on, did I eat the right thing? Did I eat too many calories? Did I get too much fat? Did I eat too many carbs? Which are the things that I hear from people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I, I don't know if that explains it, but
Yeah, it does. Thank